Many people have asked me for my thoughts on the delay, and so I'm going to serve them raw here. It's going to be pretty unfiltered, and this is going to be a little involved, but rest assured that it all comes together in my total reaction to the delay. As you likely already know if you're coming onto my channel at all, there has been a delay to Endwalker. The expansion has been pushed from its initial early access release date from November 19th to now be December 3rd for early access. This makes a 2 weeks difference in when the launch was. And as you guessed, this absolutely impacts me and my plans. But, and this is going to be something I talk about later, I don't even for a second, not even a split second, even think remotely that this delay could have been done unless it was for the best of Final Fantasy XIV and its future. Now here's where it gets into my reaction. A lot of people have asked for this, and you know what, I'm just going to be really open and really honest here. To me, especially because I know I'm an edge case, I'm someone who has honestly been caught between the spin of content creation, planning on going back for my own doctorate, planning or actually just being between probation at a new job, and as a person who genuinely wants Final Fantasy XIV to succeed at almost any cost just because I love the game so much. It is really as simple as that. I have the entire buffet of emotions right now. I have probably not said it quite as directly as I could on my channel, but I am in real life on Mowgli's road, needing to choose what to do a little bit sooner than I would have liked in this situation. This delay, oddly enough, has indeed scratched off that scab in the most uncomfortable way possible. Yeah, I'm on Mowgli's road and I have a set of options presented in front of me, and I don't really fully know what the best way to go forward is, and I'm not expecting anyone to have the answers. This is a decision only I can make, but I'm sharing what I think. Just answers that really used to seem so vivid and clear before now seem a bit more muddled, a bit more chaotic. It's a bit less clear what I personally want from life, and I'm not really stretching it. In fact, I'm probably downplaying a little when I say that I'm caught up in a hurricane of circumstance and emotions right now. So my first thought is, oh my god, like, I just wonder or realize how many people realize that I genuinely plan to return to graduate school to pursue my PhD in computing science and neuroscience. I'm right at that intersection with my 2 degrees, one following the neuroscience program of mine and then the other in computing science. I practically snort research in BCI and neurology literature still to this day. After my boyfriend Name It got his PhD, his doctorate, a little while ago now, I realized just how painfully badly I wanted mine. It wasn't a jealousy thing at all. It was just like, oh my god, how to say it? Like, I'm gonna keep it short here. I got stories I could tell of my life and my genuine regrets and choices that I've had to make, and probably my #1 regret was not going to graduate school at the same time that he was. We were in very different programs, or similar-ish, but different. Like, if you're just like, oh, does he know, like, brain computer interfaces and neuroscience? No, that's my thing. But instead, I went into industry. I was kind of forced, rather, into industry just because of money, and basically into making CRUD apps. And while that acronym means nothing to anyone, CRUD, outside of software, CRUD is exactly what I'd call it. Create, read, update, delete, for anyone who's curious. But I digress. We're so up shit's creek with all these details, but people I have definitely lost at this point. This matters to my reaction directly. Very important. Probably the most important thing for my reaction, because I always plan to go back to graduate school, and going back, the only thing that I can carry with me into it is my community, my channel, my website. It is not possible to carry a full-time job into it. I have been with Name It for a long time. I do not see that as being feasible. It can't be. Now I need to be really clear here, because I think some people might not understand that, especially people who are near to the channel, is like, I'm very far from here for the money. I did not start this expecting to even pass 200 subs. I just want a small little community, just videos for my friends, just cute little thing. Like, I never expected to even pass like 500 subs, like, ever. And like, for me, I still don't have even a Patreon. People have actually told me to get one, and I still feel a little uncomfortable with that because I don't feel like I'm delivering the value for that. I don't even have super thanks active on my channel, for instance. Like, do you see a super thanks button on my channel? No, you do not. I don't even stream to accept donations. Like, the last thing that I want people to think is that I'm here to hose them or pull wool over their eyes. I'm here for the community, and because I am literally uplifted, like, this community has literally saved my life, and that's a little dramatic to say, but it's so fucking true. But my point, closing that off, my point is that this is all I could take forward with me into that future. My second thought is I wonder how many people realize that I have a day job too. In the great words of some catty Bandersnatch, don't quit your day job. But real talk, I've just landed an amazing software developer position that's remote. It's working on brand new Next.js with TypeScript and React and .NET Core and the Ritz. It is like literally the nicest of the nicest technologies. I love it. It's beautiful. And it's literally the exact same stack that I'm using for my website, fx.gg, which I don't put out there nearly enough. I have like an Ultimate Scholar guide and an Ultimate Sage guide there that is in more nauseating detail than anything else that I have ever seen on the internet. Anywhere for those two classes. Really poured my heart and soul into those, but I digress. But how to say it? After being laid off for a year, like, I don't come from a place of privilege. Like, when I say that, I'm very thankful. I think after being laid off for a year, you'd think that God decided, just dang, that fruit got more screwed up than Blizzard Shadowlands, time to give them some leeway. Then I got this. But what that means, though, is very directly is I'm on probation right now, and yeah, if that made your heart stop for a moment and eyes widen, oh, me too. I'm right there with you. So me having the charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, and stupidity that I do, I booked off literally like 2 weeks solid for Endwalker. Now people will ask why, because that definitely required a lot of charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent, and stupidity. It's because I love this channel, I love the community I'm making, like, you guys are so great. It's so amazing because my last job that was over a year ago, I was literally like teaching at the university that I got my degrees from, and I had a really big hard struggle even making a class of 20 adults. We're talking like grown adults, we're not talking like 18-year-olds, we're talking like 25 plus 30, 40-year-olds. Like, I couldn't make them listen to me for love nor money, and it's so surreal. And just the people that I talk to and having people whisper me in game, it means so much to me, it really does. But this is also my first ever expansion in a game that, to be blunt, saved my life. I'm not gonna mention, like I said in the first point, or I am gonna mention, I mean, in my first point, it's all that I can really carry with me into the future that I know I'm going to make happen. It's been something that has been on my mind for years, and especially the past few months, it's something that I know I need at this point. So I planned for months now the launch of my website and all of its tools to be announced soon if my Discord bot integration moves ahead nicely. Me streaming the Endwalker leveling process, me blowing up the extreme trials with reckless abandon, trying to get all the jobs leveled up as quick as I can, a video every day, obviously, articles. I was going to serve. It would be a ton of work and require me to develop skills and talents that I've barely touched or grown, but that was the plan. And I got the holidays approved. I got the original holidays approved. Hallelujah, I was blessed. So when the delay was announced, you could only imagine that, yes, I literally, honest to God, had like... I was just in a stir of emotions. Like, I don't want to say the word panic attack, because when people say that they had a panic attack, some people really become really offensive, and they're just like, how would you know, blah blah blah, was the therapist there with you? And no, a therapist wasn't there with me, but I've had them before where I've gone to the ER, okay guys? But like, I pushed as hard as I could to get that live letter summary video out, because so many people want and expect it, and I got it done. And I just remember vibrating in bed and, well, standard normal panic attack stuff, honestly, because as I have made more than clear at this point, probably, is it was more than just an expansion launch for me. It was more than just a game. Like, I have worked literally weeks through prior expansions, and was I thrilled? No, but it wasn't like this. Like, at this point, it's the community, the passion, the projects, the culmination of all of this effort that I made during the pandemic. It means so much to me. So what did I really do is, first thing Saturday morning, I sent my manager an extremely apologetic message. I didn't expect him to work during the weekend, don't worry. I mentioned that through the letter, that I don't expect that. I was very apologetic. I was very careful with my wording, very scared, honestly. And I explained my situation and practically begged for forgiveness and mercy. And right now, even when I literally right now check Ceridian Dayforce, I did get my original holidays canceled at this point. But now the current new updated days are still sitting there unapproved, and to be blunt, it's giving me more anxiety than one could imagine. And so my reaction, taking all of the things that I've said, my total reaction is that all my plans and best laid out plans, I have done everything that I possibly could on my end, were or are in tatters. Literally, way before I ever heard about this company's name, Peace and Love. I don't have any disrespect, I just never heard of them before, and literally years in the making. Like, I've had this channel for over a year now, and all of this was just coming undone, and absolutely 100% am I catastrophizing still? Probably, but that's where I'm kind of at. Like, you guys wanted a reaction, you're getting the honest reaction. So I wish that I could say that I'm not still catastrophizing, but I kind of am. I figure I am. I really feel like I've been pushed into an ultimatum situation where I'm stuck on Mowgli's road, stuck between choosing something that for the very first time since I left university, in my opinion, actually screw it, it's how I feel. How I feel is that this is the first time since university gave me some kind of meaning and purpose and drive to push, and my love for the community is just so strong. And that the other side of the road is a pretty amazing job that I may or may not even make it through probation for, and even if I completely said screw 14, uninstalled it, I might not make it through, you know. And I've unfortunately had jobs where I did so much work, I was laid off after a project and basically left for dead. I'm not going to get into that story here, but also taking all of that into account, even if I did somehow make it past that, I still cannot take that with me into the future, into grad school. And so my stress and all the options laid out in front of me are off the charts. And really, this delay has... Obviously, the delay is not related to screwing me over. I feel like some of my comments are going to immediately jump to, oh, he's trying to play the victim. That's not what I'm trying to play. I'm just trying to express what I'm going through with this, because people want me to be open and honest about it. A lot of people know that I'm juggling way more than I probably honestly have any right to right now. Really, I am on Mowgli's road, and I'm trying to figure out what to do. And ironically enough, right now, this delay has basically taken like, I don't know, like a claw or something, and just ripped off the scab off of this. And I'm like, oh god, that hurt. Oh god, I didn't expect to be thinking these thoughts, honestly. Like, my last thoughts was, oh, you're gonna all of a sudden feel like you have to start making these decisions. Me, oh my god, why? Now is here where I need to be honest about the development team, and if anyone thinks I want to throw shade at or hate at Yoshi P or the rest of the development team, then you honestly don't know me at all. Like, at all. Peace and love. Like, you don't know me if you think that's how I feel. I love our developers, and I have literally said and coined the term that I have ironically enough now seen like really pick up even in my own comments, is the Final Fantasy XIV advantage. The developers, our developers are the Final Fantasy XIV advantage. I stand by that statement 100%. The communication, the passion, I feel nothing short of empathy, honestly, for their difficult announcement, and especially as someone who knows many friends and family who are in Japan. Oh my gosh, I don't think us here in North America realize how insanely, and I mean brutally insanely difficult that was for them to announce. It was tough from everything that I gather, and I'm not gonna say that I understand everything, but from everything I've had discussions and talked to people with, that was so beyond tough, and I think it's really hard for anyone in North America to conceptualize just how severe that was. So for me, I don't think even for a second, not even a single second, that this would have been done unless it was mandatory. So for me, as someone who is caught between the spin of content creation, my community, my website, all of these things, going back for my own doctorate, being between probation at work, and as a person who genuinely wants Final Fantasy XIV succeed, as a person who's played it for a decade and only just started making content, yeah, I have the entire buffet of emotions, and like all these answers that just seemed clear and obvious and vivid before really do seem muddled and chaotic. Do you not pull out a culmination of like years, or a little over a year, day in day out work? Because I was honestly like trying my best. It's just like, as I was interviewing for jobs and doing all of my due diligence there, it's just like I was trying to pull out the stunts. Do you mangle your work and dreams to become a corporate drone again? And I need to ask myself the question, how did that go last time, Cole? How did that go? How was that layoff? How bitter did that make you? Alternatively, if you choose the middle path, what cost will it have? As my comments have non-stop loved to remind me, I've fallen behind every 14 creator. I have been left in the dust. People like Despy has been nothing nice but short of kind and generous to me. He really has. I get comments that are just like, you've been left behind in the dust and all this, and I'm kind of like at the point where it's just like, I don't really give a fuck. Like, I cherish the community, and I really do more dearly than I can put into words, and people will say it's dramatic, but this is actually, unfortunately, a heavy burden, because for every decision you make at this scale, there's a consequence, and I don't know what I could live with. Such as try and define success, and a lot of people want to say money, but I don't even view it that way. I think you need enough money to live, absolutely. You want to eat well, you want to have a roof above your head, you want to be able to provide for those you love and care about. But more than that, not really, at least not for me. Through past experiences in my life, I have seen, and I'm not even exaggerating here, without doxing myself, I can't really say exactly where or when, but I literally was volunteering at a particular hospital for literally years, and through that time, just through volunteering, I saw, and I remember I was delivering water to them and just going into the rooms, trying to help them, just talking. And I have, honest to God, seen some of the richest people you could imagine. I'm talking about rich people. I am in a pretty well-off city, not from my own merit, from my parents, but people who profited very heavily from the oil industry. I've seen them firsthand in the hospital beds and just dying there in front of me. And I remember so many of them begging for me to stay, and I don't remember all of their faces. Like, that's some stupid movie line. Oh my god, I will never forget one of their faces. Like, if I said that I remembered any of their faces, I would be a lie. Maybe that one elderly woman. I kind of make out her face, but that would be a lie if I said it was vivid. But the words and the loneliness, that may as well be etched into my bones. So, ironically enough, I feel like I'm a weird, wild edge case in this question, and I suppose that's why so many people have asked me. I'm really caught between multiple worlds and being dragged in multiple directions, and honestly, all of this is my reaction to it. I don't know.